Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while since I put a video up. I really wanted to do a build. I know in my last video I mentioned about the humidity system, which up until recently we've been dealing with the water atomizer on the floor, which has been great, and it's been enough to sort of, you know, keep the temperatures up, to keep the humidity up, should I say, during some of the warmish days. But recently we've been going for another heat wave. It's been super hot in the greenhouse. I had a temperature in here, I think we got up to, I reset this earlier, we got up to about 28, 29 degrees centigrade in here earlier. That's with all the fans going and everything. It's just not enough to control the temperature. So what, in my last video I mentioned about the Mist King system. I unboxed it, we had a look at it. I really wanted to do a video of us unboxing it, well, not unboxing it, but setting it up in the greenhouse so that, you know, we can sort of go through the whole process. I had a look around YouTube. There's lots of videos of people who've already done that, so you can go and check those guys out. It's pretty much the same system. With the weather as it is, I thought to myself, what I really need to do is actually go on and do this, because transfer evaporative cooling, which is part of the reason why this is going in, because as these super fine water molecules drop down through the atmosphere and break up and evaporate, obviously it cools the whole greenhouse down a lot, which is going to help a lot with the plants, especially the orchids, the nepenthes as well, because I've noticed some of the growth on them is really stalled, so it's getting too dry, too hot for them. They're not having a good time, and I don't want to lose them, so I want to do everything I can basically to encourage growth on those. So like I said before, I bought an RO unit. I got my misting system out finally. I've had it for a little while, but it was time to sort of get it out and actually get it in place as soon as we can. So I've installed it. It's a bit rough and ready at the moment. All the tube, you can probably notice it. We've only got 3 nozzles, but I've set them up behind me for the meantime. It seems to be ample at the moment, actually, to be honest. Just for this side, so mainly just the orchids on this side. I'm going to move some of the nepenthes, which are up the end over there, move them down underneath here. To act as a little bit of having that big tray is going to help stop some of the water from dropping through towards the system. I've just got a box over it at the moment until I can really figure out the best way to do it, really. So what I'll do is, and we're losing light as well, so what I'll do is I'll probably plug another light in, and I'll grab you guys and we'll go for a little adventure down here and we'll have a look at the system at a bit closer detail. Okay, so you guys are in my careful hands now. Fingers crossed. This is probably going to be a little bit wobbly, this video, but I'll try and hold you as still as possible. So I've set the system up like I said before. We've got 3 nozzles up on the roof. We'll just go and have a look at those now. I've kind of pointed them out past the orchids into the gantry or the walkway area, because what I don't really want is everything getting soaking wet. I know they come from a rainforest, but there's other things underneath here that I could really do, like electrics that I could really do without getting wet. And like I said before, I've only put a box over it at the moment just to stop any drops that come down from hitting it. Seems to work perfectly fine, but we're going to have a look. There's the adapter as well, which needs covering up with something, I don't know what yet. So like I said, it just needs to be in as soon as possible, because if this weather keeps on, it's just fighting a losing battle. So we'll have a look at these nozzles now. So here's the first one up here on the roof, well, on the ceiling. So these little black nozzles, they produce super fine mist. I think it's something like 50 microns, but they can be rotated 360, so they can move sort of wherever I fancy, really, all over the place. I just have them down like this at the moment, and they produce a nice little cone of mist that comes out towards the gantry. What I've done is I've run the tubing up from the pump, and the reservoir comes up from the back here, and it comes up along the roof into the first nozzle. There's my dendrobium, still just starting to lose its flowers now, and that comes along here. There's the next nozzle in the middle, and then finally the last nozzle at the end, and then the tubing just runs back down the back, down behind the brassia, down underneath. Here's Mr. Neolucella, kind of looking okay at the moment. There's a little new growth popping out from the soil. You can't really see it in this light. I've had to turn a work light on so we can get the rest of this video finished. Summer is beginning to draw slowly to an end. So that pipe you can see at the back comes down, runs along. That is Bulbophyllum barbagirum. Lots of new growth on him. Anyway, less about the orchids. It comes down along here and goes into the box. So what I'll do is I'll set you guys up again quickly and we'll have a quick look at that. So as I said before, I've just got a blue box on it at the moment. It's just to stop any drips. Like I say, the mist is really fine, so I'm not really concerned. Underneath here it looks like a little bit damp here. That's just where I had a little bit of leakage. One of these pipes wasn't pushed in quite as far as it could have been. Just in case, I've put this little transformer controller unit up on top just to stop any moisture potentially getting to it. I've also elevated any of the cables just to keep them off of ground level here. I've also made sure that all the pipes sort of dip down before they get back underneath here, so we haven't got the potential for any water to run back in on top of this board. Like I said, it's a bit rough and ready at the moment. I'm hoping to refine this so it's a bit tidier. The amount of cable that the kit comes with is a bit limiting on how far. I'm sure it'll be fine for an application where you were just going to put a series of like terrarium tanks or vivariums in for like reptiles and stuff. It's great, it's plenty long enough. But obviously, because I'm putting it in a greenhouse, obviously I want to cover as much area as possible, so it's a bit limited really as far as I can go with it. But we've made do. I'm going to buy some more of this polyurethane tubing. It's not particularly expensive. I've seen some stuff on a couple of the UK supplier shops. They sell it for about, I think it's about £1 a metre really, so it's quite expensive I suppose in many respects for what it is. It's just a plastic tube, but you know, it's nice to keep the stuff that's meant to go with the system. And then, so yeah, this is the pump. It takes water out of my reservoir, which is this 33-gallon bucket I've got up there. Hardly uses any water at all because the mist is so fine, and that's what I put my RO water in. This is an inline sediment filter, so it's already filtered in there. I've tested that. That's 12 parts per million after it's passed through the RO water filter. It comes in through here. It's got a little ball valve here, so I can actually turn it off and on, so I can disconnect the reservoir to refill it if I need to. Apparently these pumps can run dry anyway, so if it runs out of water, these pumps can keep spinning without any damage happening to them, which is really important. This is the little zip drip valve over here, so it's this little fella here which kicks in and takes the pressure out of the system. It chucks the pressure back into the other side of the pump, so you don't get water dripping like slowly out of the nozzles. So that's the pump, and as far as it stands at the moment, I'll just put a box back over that, keep it covered up. Like I said, I don't like untiding this. I mean, the box is helping me slightly by keeping it out of my sight, because it means I haven't got to see the horrendous mass of cables and stuff in there at the moment, and it just keeps the water off the top. The biggest problem, if you can see on top of that white reservoir over there, we've got a little AC adapter sits on top of there. I've just put this clear pot over it at the moment just to stop any mist from falling on top of it. Doesn't seem to get to that point, and I'm going to move one of the black trays to above it anyway, just in case. What I'll do is I'll stick you back up and over the other side. I'll move the light, and actually no, forget that. What we'll do is we're going to have a look at the controller first. Okay, so here's the Mist King controller. It's got a plastic cover on it yet, which is all these bubbles on here. I've had to switch to my phone for this bit because the camera I normally use has got like a bright blue light at the front of it, which really messes up this image. So, press anything to wake the system up. Basically, the phone's just adapting to it. Here, you can see it's got a timer setting, so it's on night mode at the moment. This is the misting nozzle, so it's showing you what mode it is, and it's also showing me the relative humidity. So what we can do, and the temperatures over here as well, so relative humidity and temperature. And what we can do is we can actually flick between functions to have a look. So it also comes, let's go the other way, relative humidity, that's the time. Its daytime humidity is set at 70%, so it will keep coming on and retaining the relative humidity throughout the day to manage it at 70 degrees. Night time it's set for 85% relative humidity, so it will monitor automatically, come on as and when it's needed. And there's a difference of 7% relative humidity, so what that means is it will allow a drop in humidity of 7% before firing in again, so it's not just constantly coming on every 5 seconds. I think that's all the functions that it comes with. Oh, and there's an alarm as well. So if the humidity drops below 50%, it'll make a racket, I'm assuming, to alert you to the fact that your humidity is so low. And all of this is attached to a little sensor, which comes down here, runs across. Get my phone to focus. There we go. Behind the Paphiopedilum, and at the moment it's just hanging up here by this old manky Phalaenopsis, which has been slug eaten. Let's go and have a look at some of the slug damage. There it is, look. Shot holing. Awful, horrendous. But we've had no more slug issues since I did the sealing, which is good news. Here's the sensor it comes with. It's got a little hole in there to attach with a screw. I don't know where I'm going to put it yet. I'm limited by the amount of cable I've got. If it means just drilling a small hole in the alley up here, somewhere up here where I can fix it, I will do. And I've got some cable tidy clips as well to tidy all of this away. So what I should really do is set you up, and we'll have a look and see if we can see some of the mist. Okay, so please forgive me for how weird this is going to look, because obviously I've had to put the work light on, so I'm sure I've got some sort of weird underlighting. I probably look a bit sweaty. It's 94% relative humidity in here and 26 degrees centigrade, so it's warm at the moment. The work light produces a huge amount of heat, so it really is scorching. It's got an override function. So what I'm going to do now is move my beer out of the way before that becomes diluted with RO water, and I'll hit the switch and we'll turn it on and just have a look at it, and then I'll pick you guys up and we'll have a little walk across the greenhouse and have a look at this like. Right, so here we go. You can see it produces a really fine mist. When the evaporative cooler is going, it really blows this around all over the place. So it's really, really good. Really happy with it. As soon as I release it, it turns it off. You can see all the pressure's dropped out of the system now. What I'll do is I'll move you over the other side. You can have a look at it from the other direction. So, not sure how this is going to be coming out on camera, but we'll have a look and see if we can see it. Beautiful fine mist being whipped around all over the place. There's already a significant temperature change as well. It feels much cooler. Whoops, an absolute treat. Hardly any drips at all. Absolutely fantastic. It's now 100% humidity in here. It's about to rain. Well, it is technically. So yeah, really happy with that. Great install. Very easy to operate. I'm really happy with it as well. So, started to rain again. I hope you can't hear that on the camera. Really happy with the system. It's really, really good. It was very easy to install. It took probably, I know it's only rough and ready, but it probably only took about an hour to get to this point, to get this up here looking like this. So I'm really happy with how easy it was. It seems, as promised, it makes a really, really fine mist, so it's not getting everything saturated. The nozzles are easy to adjust, so I can chuck most of that humidity out this way rather than it just dropping straight down on all the plants. And I think it's going to have a really positive impact on them. So if you like this video and you like really, really poor lighting in a greenhouse and a really sweaty bearded man with dreadlocks, don't forget to like and subscribe.